Welcome to Black Girl Say Something, where this black girl has something to say. And if you've been listening to the podcast for a while, you might know that today is October 21st, and that means it is my birthday. And today is the day that 38 years ago, a 16-year-old gave birth via C-section because her 5-pound and some change baby had the umbilical cord wrapped around her neck. And with that being said, she was born. And so many years later, she was able to finish her doctorate where she talked about maternal mortality and really just living in purpose on purpose. But I'm going to be honest with y'all. Leading up to this birthday this year really was taking a toll on me. And not necessarily because of the things, not necessarily because I can't do what I want to do or how I'm accustomed to celebrating my birthday. The number one thing about me is I never put my birthday on anybody. Even when I was in the trenches with my children's father in that marriage, baby, one thing I was going to do was celebrate me. No matter how I felt, no matter what was going on. But this year, it was a little different because, one, I'm teaching a class on Tuesdays and Thursdays. My birthday week is the last week of the class, so I'm having to think about the fact that I'm not going to be able to possibly make ends meet. It's not like I have any other prospective jobs lined up. So the woes of that really is what's taking a toll on me. Plus the anxiety. Plus my children are reunifying with their father and talking of, we have... I gave him the opportunity to have them for Thanksgiving. Plus, there's just so much, right? There's so much that's out of my control that is not necessarily getting to me, but some way, somehow in the subconscious recesses of my mind, it got to me. So I'm just kind of not trying to hold on to that. This is not about hair and nails and being able to go out, but just about the fact that where I want to be in life, not looking to the left, not looking to the right, but looking at me and reminiscing on the fact that I haven't had this type of financial low since I was about 20 years old. And at 20, I had no children. I had none of the things I have now, but to be coming out of 37 in just such a hard way, I feel like I'm being rebirthed. And I said in a video on TikTok that, I was born via C-section with the umbilical cord wrapped around my neck. But I feel like the umbilical cord is still wrapped around my neck all of 37. And so I'm just, hanging in there as I know how to do. All in all, being in this headspace, that was early this morning because I did get up and decided that I was going to do Uber Eats just because I've been doing that to make a little extra income. And I know when I left, my son wasn't feeling well. So I was like, hey, let my sisters know, hey, he's not feeling well, whatever. So he ended up staying home today and he and I hung out. We did some math, which is my favorite subject. And I really saw that, once he was confident in the work, he was boom, 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 knocking it out, getting it right. And then we went to go collect some of my birthday goodies. We went to Publix. I get a free cake for my birthday. I've been doing that for the last 3 years. If you don't put that phone number and get them Publix perks. And then we went to Krispy Kreme's to get my free gift. And then we went to pick up his sister from school. And then, just me and him hanging out. And it was a really good day. And then I went to take her to the after school program and came home and saw somebody at the door. And I'm like, who is that? They must be at the wrong house. And it was for me. It was an edible arrangement that I received from a friend. And I was like, I was really appreciative of that. And so for me, it is just the little things. I love a good surprise. As a Libra, I love a good surprise. I love a good gift. Yes, my love language is a gift, honey. You get me a gift or you do something for me, I love that. That is it. That is top tier. But I also think it goes back to being the eldest daughter. Eldest daughters don't typically are the ones to be doers for people and not necessarily are receivers, right? And it just got me to thinking. I had heard it on TikTok and I was like, let me go hear it for myself. And on my way to work, I decided to listen to Mana Leo. She has a new album. And Diary of an OG is an ode to big sisters, being the eldest daughter, right? And y'all know I talk about that in a number of episodes, but it is so hard. It is such a weight to bear. And I talk about something else a little bit personal as it relates to my birthday. That's going to be over on Patreon. So become a subscriber over there. Major plug, my business, Top Notch Eyewear, is having a 38% off sale. So whatever you add to your cart, your order, it has to meet a minimum though, but whatever you add to your cart, the order will be, they will take 38% off your total order. So I'm appreciative of all of the birthday wishes, the birthday love, the birthday gifts, the birthday text messages, the birthday reposts, everything is tens across the board. I have class tonight. This is my last week of class. So this is my last Tuesday with my Tuesday night class. And they're doing presentations. And I had told them from day one when classes started in August, hey, y'all presentation gonna be on my birthday. So be sure that y'all come in here and make these presentations a gift, because it was a gift that my mama gave birth to me on this day for me to be here as y'all professor. That's just me being over dramatic with them, but they're used to it by now, and it is what it was. But I'm thankful. I'm grateful. Another day, 38 will be great. And someone always asks me what I learned, and I'm pretty sure it's somebody who's been listening to the podcast forever, because when I first started the podcast, I want to say I was turning 34 or turning 35, and I remember having a list of 34 things that I learned. And as of last year, when I'm coming out of 36 going into 37, I said the list doesn't get smaller in the things that you learn. You keep learning those things and you keep living through those things, but adding to the list gets less. And I had learned last year that the things that you want, you just give them to yourself. But this year, what I've come to learn is when you cannot give those things to yourself, there's always something that you can give yourself. And things don't work out, and that's the way it goes. And you just have to keep going. And even when you don't feel like you can keep going, it's okay to take a rest. It's okay to take a pause, a beat. It is okay to take a moment and say, I don't feel like I want to keep going. Because who's going to judge you for that? That's how you feel. And that's how I've been getting through to get by, to keep going. If you don't take a break, you can't get that second win to keep going. Anywho, I appreciate you. I appreciate all of you. Thank you for listening, tuning in, and being a part of the Black Girl Say Something community. Follow us on TikTok, like us on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube, and as always, you can become a paid subscriber over on Patreon. Thank you for listening, and be well and take care.